Well, Jake, you got any good wedding stories?
That.
I was gonna say, I don't think there's a wrestling wedding story we could ever tell. That's crazier than Macho Man and Liz.
I will tell you this. I will be using her line in an interview coming up.
Okay.
I'll be putting that out there on AEW, so be ready, folks.
Yeah, right. It's such a great.
It's a great line.
Great.
It makes you think, man.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's really a surprise that Jake wasn't there. I mean, candidly, even though we're friends with Jake, I wouldn't have invited Jake. Have you seen what he's known to do at these receptions?
We go back to the macho stuff. Yeah.
No, we're not doing that.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, God.
When you think about wrestling weddings, Jake, that Macho Man Liz one, it's probably got to be number one, does it not?
Yeah, I think so. They were such strong characters, you know. I mean, they were so super over, especially Liz. She was in a magic box, man. You know, and the way she portrayed her part and the way they did, and they took care of her by not letting her be thrown around, tossed around, or doing silly things, getting involved. She was this perfect little China doll, you know. And then when Mach and them did that, man, it was an awesome wedding, and it's just crazy how things are put together, because that was put together on the fly.
Really?
Yeah. At Madison Square Gardens, because Warrior had been let go.
Right.
Same show. Yeah.
I was supposed to have been doing a big angle with him. You've seen all the vignettes leading up to it. Yeah.
All right.
So he'd just been gone that day.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, what the hell? Who am I going to work with? You know? And because I'd taken time off to do the vignettes and all this stuff. And so then they said, well, we're going to hook you up with Mach. I'm like, how? And then they came up with the wedding.
Wow.
And you talk about, I mean, Pat Patterson and Vince, they pulled that rabbit out of the hat. And they put that together that day. And
huge rating on that, I remember too. Huge rating.
You know, and then we put the snake in the box, man, the Undertaker, and which led up to some other stuff with the Undertaker later on. You know?
Right.
And what's great is that's on the heels of the Macho Man being quote unquote retired, and then you're the guy who gets to lure him out of retirement. And it's interesting to think that it really wasn't supposed to happen. It was just a pivot same day, and it probably became your most iconic feud in the WWF, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's funny how just hooking up somebody to a Cobra gets you huge rating. You know?
Wait a minute, Jake, you got to tell them a story about like
Mach.
Yeah, Mach, and it was Vince's idea, right? That he's going to bite.
Yeah.
Right. So this is classic. Go ahead.
Okay.
Jake.
So Vince told me, you think that snake can bite somebody? I said, yeah, bites me all the time. And he's like, okay. He says, we're going to have it bite Mach. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. You know, because we've not done that yet, you know. And Mach comes to me and he's like, hey, brother, we're going to do this thing, right? And I'm like, yeah, man, it's going to be so good, Randy. He's like, let me ask you something. Are you sure that snake's been fixed? I'm like, fixed? Yeah, they took the venom sacs out. Well, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Stranger things have happened here, goddammit. So here's what we're going to do, Jake. You got to let the snake bite you first. What? He's like, yeah, let it bite you first. Now, if you don't want it to bite you, me and you've got a big problem, and we're going to have to settle it right now. He's ready to fight. And I'm sitting there in my seat, man, like, you're killing my buzz, dude. You know? And I said, fine, whatever, man. Yeah, whatever. We're going to be sure I'm not going to die with bullshit, you know. A lot of people want this title, you know, Jesus, Randy. So I have to get the Cobra out. I pull up my pant leg, and boom, it bites me. He's like, oh, good.
But he holds on.
Oh, yeah.
Like, those things don't do that shit.
No. They lock on. So he holds on, he's chewing, and I take him off, and Randy's like, okay, don't you dare move. Don't take no antidote. Don't take no vitamins. Don't take no pills. Don't drink no antidote, you know. just sit there. And he sits there in a chair face to face with me, not that far away. How you feeling, man?
Oh my.
Are you starting to sweat? Man, what's wrong with you? He goes, I'm just waiting, man. How long has it been? I said, I've done this long enough. He goes, no, just sit right there. I want to make sure. So he wouldn't let me leave the room for 20 minutes, waiting to see if I started, showing reactions or something, or reach for something. So finally he's like, okay, that'll work. So then he comes to me and he goes, hey, brother, when that thing bites me and he lets go, bring it back to me and ask me, because I may want you to hook him up again, because I want this thing to really be really good. I'm like, no problem, bro. So we get in the ring, man. I'm a little pissed off still, rightfully so. I turn my back to Randy, and I got this cobra in my hand, and I slapped the piss out of it. Man, his mouth flies open. He's ready to bite somebody for just knocking the crap out of him. So when I turn to Randy and he locks on, he's locked on, and I'm like watching, waiting, taking a couple of pictures of the people, waving at a few fans. And he's still chewing. So I grab the tail, grab him about near the head, and I pull, and he won't let go. Holy crap. So I pull again, he won't let go. So by that time, the people are getting real quiet. When fans get quiet, that's danger. Because that means somebody's fixing to bust out and come up there. So Vince sends Piper to the ring to tell me to get the snake off of Randy. Piper's deathly afraid of snakes.
Well, so are you.
I am too, but Piper doesn't have the gimmick. So Randy's like 15 feet away from me. I mean, Piper's 15, 20 feet away from me. Vince said, get the snake off of me. I'm trying. So I pull some more. He won't let go. Then he sends Elizabeth down. Vince said, now. And Piper's got her in front of him, right? He's killing himself. So I go over and I grab the snake. I said, oh, Randy, do you want me to bring him? Take that son of a bitch off of me. It was hilarious, man.
How long do you think he was on? Did they stay on it the whole time?
No. They cut like 40 seconds off. He held on to him for a good 30, 40 seconds. And he was just gnawing on him. But see, cobras don't have fangs. They have teeth like a fish, man. And, it bled a little bit, but golly, you can scratch yourself and it'll bleed. It's nothing. I mean, back in those days, I used to get a little intoxicated. Yeah, I know it's hard to hear, but I would get bored in the hotel and I'd get the snake out and put it on one bed and I'd hang my arm out there, let it strike, and I'd see if I could pull away in time. Those cobras are fairly slow. They don't strike like a rattlesnake. It coils up and then explodes. They stand and then they just fall like that quick. That's about it. So it's pretty easy to beat it. Of course, I'd be in the hotel and the phone would ring and I'd pick up the phone and forget what I was doing. The snake would bite me again. But good times. Good times. That just went by the 30th year.
Yeah, it happened October 21st, 1991, Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Wow.
You beat
Halloween
21st, 10 days before Halloween.
Oh, 21st. I said 31st.
But it did air in November.
My favorite memory of all time in wrestling.
Is that Snake Attack?
Yeah, man. There's something about watching that snake chew on him that, whew. I mean, to this day, if I'm with a woman, I'm having a little trouble, because I'm 66 years old. And I'm, maybe not enthused as I should be, or prepared for the event that's coming. I just pop that DVD in, man. Watch that. Boom, I'm ready. Instant wood.
Tell me about being in the ring in that moment. I mean, you can see the video shows the crowd. They've never seen anything like this before.
No,
Children
they're in shock.
Yeah.
They're in shock. And that's what's so dangerous. In wrestling, you learn through experience that when people are yelling at you and throwing stuff at you and shouting stuff at you, cursing you, you're pretty safe. But when it gets quiet, they call that red hot heat.
Mm.
When it gets like that, there's always going to be one or two guys out there that want to save the day. And they try to take that moment from you. And I was watching because I was expecting them to start flying in the ring at any time. And of course, that's not a bad deal because when they get into the ring, it's so horrible for them. They want to jump in and be a star, but what happens is they jump in the ring and they stand up, and all of a sudden they realize, oh my God, everybody's watching me now, and they get that deer in the headlight.
Right.
And of course, that's when you blast them right in the temple and put them out of their misery. And glad to do it.